The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, you're encouraged to like and share them on Facebook. It's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in Fort Pierce at Avenue A, actually US 1 between Avenue A
and Orange
Avenue,
Avenue,
across from City Hall, facing City Hall. And the proprietor is in the studio with you right now. It's Joanne's World of Nutrition. Joanne Augusto, good morning.
Well, good morning, everyone. That was some intro. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Well, I hope everyone is having an amazing morning. Once again, I have to acknowledge this beautiful weather. I know it gets hot by the end of the day, but we got to appreciate cool, non-humid mornings to get maybe our walks in or time with our loved ones to have a nice cup of coffee outside. So really enjoy this weather while we have it. And thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend the morning with me. And without further ado, we must start each and every show with our breathing exercises, because I really want to stress we really need to do this, everybody. Breathing is something some of us take for granted, and we walk around with shallow breathing and wondering how we can regain our health back or our focus or our energy. And this is a very simple way that's free and available to all of us.
We were called about this on the morning show by the morning show crew and a caller about counting backwards on the show. And I explained to the gentleman that, well, don't you remember, if somebody walks up and kicks you on your shiny brand new shoes, before you punch them out, you'd count to 10,
That's right?
Remember that?
We teach our little ones that, it just hold your tongue, count to 10, and then think about it.
or just count to 10 and breathe. See, that right there is enough to cool you off before the ignition takes place.
Definitely. I've been telling a lot of my customers that come in, sometimes it's overwhelming trying to get a healthy lifestyle going. And you can Google or read any book or magazine and get like 100 tips all at once. And, sometimes it's like a little bit too much for people or a little overwhelming. So I always say start with this breathing exercise, as simple as it sounds. If you keep doing this all throughout your day, you will improve your health, your focus, your energy, and sleep better and lower your blood pressure. So let's start this. So any newbies listening, it's very simple. The most important part of the breathing exercise is not using your mouth, only using your nose.
Breathing is recommended by all health professionals.
Yes, there's no one that disagrees with this fact. So Cliff is going to count for us, and we'll just do it a couple times, but I suggest while listening to this show, you continue on. The more, the better. So we're going to do a count for 5 in through the nose, hold for 5, and very slowly exhale through the nose for 5.
You got to let it all out first to help yourself.
Yeah, so we'll do a quick exhale, and then we'll start. And remember that if you need to hold your fingers over your mouth, we do have a tendency to use our mouth, and that stresses our heart. So you do not want to use your mouth. Okay. So here we go. Exhale out all the stress and frustration of the morning.
Okay.
All right, and then here we go.
Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when I snap my fingers, you're going to wake up.
Nice job, everyone. Even the staff here was doing it. I love it. I love it. We're starting a breathing cult.
Well, they're all going, oh.
Oh, my God. Well, I hope everyone participated because it really makes a big difference. I always make this little joke. If Harvard spent money studying this, I think that's kind of ridiculous, but still, let's do it. Let's do it all day long. And I have one new tip for this week, okay?
All right.
And that is to try to get fresh air in the middle of your day. So many of us that are working still, are cooped up usually in these air conditioned boxes here in Florida. So no
Mm-hmm.
matter what your job is, unless you are outdoor worker, you are inside with this air conditioning systems that are recirculating all this air, and that's indoor air pollution. So we want to like step out of that environment at least once a day. And I said this about 5 years ago on the show, but to walk around your building or your office or your home, wherever you are, for the most part, and the customers that have been doing that and listeners since that show have really made a comment that it's helped them. It's brightened up their moods, helped them, catch their breath, relieve their stress. So just try to get outdoors. And here's, Joanne has to always add a little joke into this, but touch some nature when you go outside. Like touch a tree,
You can do this with
appreciate
your
a
eyes,
flower,
even. Yeah.
because it's very grounding and has
Mhm.
really good energy. So, check out what beautiful nature has to offer while you're out there as
You
well.
think there's something to this tree hugging craze?
Hey,
That's
I've been promoting tree hugging for 30 years. So,
grounding, and it makes
yes,
sense. The tree is
it
well into
does.
the ground.
Well, I mean, there is so much anxiety and panic disorders that are really like, I feel like it's epidemic. I've never had so many consumers come in front of me and just they're on the verge of tears. Their hands are shaking. And it's younger and younger. I have girls and guys that are like in their 20s that are already suffering from anxiety and panic disorders. It's so sad. So we need to step away from this indoor air and some technology and give ourselves a little nature break.
Fresh
So
air is not necessarily cool air either. It's the fresh
just
outside
just
air.
anything, yeah, anything that's
Okay.
not man-made.
Okay.
So last week's show was pre-recorded, and there was a few uh, technical difficulties, but it was about CBD oil, and I hope everyone was able to understand. But I did want to recap a few key points of the CBD oil because I believe in all the years I've been doing this that this is the most miracle-like strongest thing I have ever sold. And I am so happy to be able to use this personally, my family members, consumers that I haven't really been able to tackle all their needs until the CBD oil was available. So I waited a long time before I made it available in my store because I had to seek out companies that I trusted because there was too much skepticism about the quality and integrity of the companies that were out there. So I waited, and the three companies I have, I would take personally, I would give to my children. I know they're safe. These are not drugs, everyone. So I still have consumers that come in and go, "Oh, do you keep it under the counter? Is this legal?" CBD
Should we
oil
hide
is
the children's
legal for
eyes?
all. You are not taking a drug. One of my customers saw me smoke my vape pen yesterday, and she looked at me like I was doing a serious drug.
Uh-oh.
And, the vape, for instance, that I have, the one from Spain, no propylene glycol. So it's actually an amazing new technology to get something like a very good medicine into your body instantly. Because when you're suffering from a panic attack, anxiety, and extreme pain that just came on, you want this medicine in you as soon as possible. So come check out CBD oil if you're suffering from anything. It's worth researching it and checking it out, and not to be closed-minded about this because you do not need to suffer, and also without side effects. There are no side effects with this.
What's the
So
basic expectation of somebody who tries this for the first time? Are there any surprises or any flavors that might be familiar or anything like that?
well, I think that I'm not sure if this is what you're getting at, but there is a smell of marijuana that the the plant itself kind of exudes. So some people
But
right
not
away
in the
think
oils.
it is,
Right.
well, a little bit. Like when I open the box and I have 48 bottles inside this tight box that just came to me,
Okay.
I do smell that. Now everyone says I have like a very keen sense of smell,
Yeah.
but I would say to be rest assured that it's a smooth seed-like flavor. It's a very nice aroma, but the companies I carry do not try to cover it up. They don't add sweeteners, they don't add flavorings. They're not trying to make it like a banana or a vanilla thing. It's just plain. and
Okay.
and they're clean and they're really natural and they're really pure and they don't add any bad solvents to it. And it's just really, and we've brought in more affordable options. So we have $54 bottles, $66 bottles, $85 bottles, where before, honestly, they were all 100 and up. So now it's affordable for all. The vape pen one is only 42, and the pen that will last forever is $20 to go along with it. And so please come check CBD oil out. Jennifer is at the store. I call her my CBD oil queen. She's very interested because it has helped her mother tremendously, as well as other family members. So she's like a big proponent of it now, and she's done a lot of research. So she's at the store now if you want to check it out.
Your guest on the show that we recorded for last week, he was talking about the many different uses. You mentioned somebody's mother, or or somebody's children, and even pets.
Yes.
They were talking about pets on last week's show.
Innovative Naturals is the only company, I believe, that has the Autism Awareness Seal of Approval.
Okay.
The reason why is because CBD oil has been researched for autistic children, well, actually, autism in general. And I have seen personally with 2 children coming into my store, the mother allowed me to give some of mine to her children. Mm-hmm. And it was 2 boys, and they were, I think, about 8 and 10, I think. And literally within 15 minutes, we both saw a difference. And the mom, her jaw was on the ground. She could not believe what was occurring. And to be honest, she got a little nervous thinking, well, this must be a drug because look how wonderful it worked. But it's not. It works with the brain and the cannabinoid system, and it's safe, and it's natural, and it's helping so many people. So please, if you are suffering from anything, check out CBD oil. And remember, do not believe everything you read on the internet. Go by the science and go by companies that are clean and have been around dealing with oils before all the money was to be made. You want to go with companies that are not in it for the dollar, that are in it to sincerely help people. Like Innovative Naturals, they have the research, they had the facility before the money part was around, and they actually work with research groups with their products. So, please do your research with this one.
And remember, CBD oils are not medical marijuana.
They are not.
Not at all. In fact, the legality of medical marijuana just now, more recently, allows the scientists to study these other oils that exist that you don't really need the THC stuff to get the CBD oils. It comes in the natural form through the hemp plants.
Exactly.
Which genetically the same, but like your guest last week said.
You don't need to alter your mind. Right. You can get all the health benefits.
That's right. There's no altering of your mind except it's just kind of weird because this is everything you've been trained against,
Definitely.
And basically, we have to look at it differently because actually I always called the THC the attraction/distraction.
Yep.
That's what made it illegal. That's what kept the scientists away for so many years. And that's what's concealed the truth about the CBD oils and what they're good for.
Well, you know what? I would say just stay out of the politics of it and just go get yourself some healthy CBD oil and get yourself better. You have to always be your own health advocate.
Yeah.
Do not treat anyone like they know better than you. You need to research. You need to take your body seriously, your mind seriously, and take responsibility for it completely. This is your mind, your body. Do not depend on anyone else to get your health back or to keep your health.
And
you
it doesn't get
take
any more
care
natural.
of it. Yes.
It doesn't get any more natural.
I really stress that because we have too much dependence on someone else telling us what to do. And even though here I have a radio show and a health food store, when people come in, I really stress to them, you need to take responsibility. We know when our bodies are breaking. We know when we're gaining weight. We know when we're being lazy. We know when we're being naughty with our food habits.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to take responsibility or things will break and we will not perform at our best. And we will end up 10 years later, turning around saying, why am I on 10 meds? Why am I, 6 sizes bigger than I was? Why? So this is why.
People have
Take
got to
control.
know that they can call and ask questions. You've got to have some questions out there about the CBD oils. After watching it, if you watched that on YouTube, on WPSLTV.com, where our archives of Joanne's shows are, you'll see that last week on the show that we broadcast last week, we introduced you to the company that manufactures the CBD oils
Yes,
that you
Innovative
carry.
Naturals, yes.
And that guy was fascinating.
And we couldn't take live callers last week. So today, if you'd like to call about this topic or any other, please call 340-1590 and I can answer any question. But the reason I was mentioning about taking control of your health is because that is what today's topic is about some of the myths out there and misleading facts about just having healthy lifestyle, just general things. Now, this is going to be probably 2 or 3 shows because even though it's the basics, it's still very detailed about supplements and herbals and homeopathy and nutrition and exercise. So today we're going to talk about the incorrect thinking about diet. I have a joke that I'm definitely not the one that made up, but what is the first 3 letters in diet? Die.
Absolutely.
So
That's the truth.
no one ever should go on a diet. And when I have, God rest my mom's soul, but up until, her 80s, she's still using the word diet for every Monday morning. Every Monday morning, the diet was going to start. And I hear that, especially in America, I mean, it's of course all over the world.
We can change it.
But yeah, in America, we are always saying, Monday, the diet begins. I'm going to live without all the things I love, and I'm going to do it this time. But if you base your intention on that thinking where you have to abstain from everything that you believe gives you pleasure to get your health back, you are pretty much doomed for failure. And statistics prove, even with New Year's resolutions, that even by 10 days after, like it's almost up to like 90-something% fail. Because when you go into that extreme thinking and your mind is saying, okay, well, Sunday night I'll eat my big bowl of pasta, I'll have my brownie, I'll drink my bottle of wine, I'll have my ice cream for dessert. I'm going to fit in all these things that give me pleasure, my candy, my popcorn, whatever it is that is your guilty pleasure. Yes, you're going to wake up Monday not only with a food or possibly a hangover in general, but you're going to have anxiety built into your goal. So why don't you take the word diet out of your mentality and just possibly
or I'll use
say,
it when referring to hair.
There you go. I like that. And just maybe rephrase your thinking to, what can I do today? And just do it one day at a time. What can I do today to have a little bit of a healthier day? I believe that all of us, no matter how far along we are in our health journey, even if we're a yogi and we're doing yoga 3 hours a day and drinking the perfect water and eating like a vegan and all organic, there's always something we can do each and every day to get one step closer to the optimal health that we seek. So for me, I always stress the breathing first. So if you haven't embarked on the breathing exercise that we did at the beginning of the show, please start that. Again, free, available to all, and there's no one that can't do it. And even if you can't count to 5 with your breathing, start with 2, go to 3, and each and every day increase the count and increase the amount of times you do it.
I know people that like doing it for hours.
Yes. So again, but remember, this is your journey. You don't compare yourself to anyone else.
Right.
This is not a competition, and there is no end game. You just each and every day live your best, do your best, because if you compete, you can get frustrated and you'll never feel like you're enough. So again, this is your journey. And then the next tip, if you need tips, I mean, some people really intuitively know what they're doing wrong and what to improve on. But again, you don't have to wake up the next day and say, that's it, I'm going to do everything perfect. So the next tip is the one I just mentioned as well, and that's getting more fresh air and, believe it or not, appreciating nature. So a long walk, just really, there's so much great, beautiful music out there in the world. Oh my God, music, music, music. There's so many studies proving that music can get your heart rate up. It can get your mood elevated. So bring music into your life if you haven't already. Find what suits you. It doesn't matter what it is, but just put it on, take a beautiful long walk, and just really get that body going and appreciate nature. And the next is about water. I find that many customers are not appreciating how much their bodies need water. So we are about 72% water, as the earth is. I feel that there's a significance in that number. So please know that nothing functions in the human body without water. So your lymph fluid, which is like controlling the cleaning of the body, your immune system, is more fluid than the blood in your body. So that needs water to clean itself, and it needs physical movement. There's no pill and no medicine that you can ever take to clean out your lymph. It wants water and it wants movement. So if you do, 10 ounces of water per waking hour, you will have such great changes in your health just from that. Now, do I strongly suggest you research water and get the best quality you can? And I definitely promote spending money on a home filtration system and using glass bottles or clean plastic bottles that are not toxic versus going out and buying cases and cases of inexpensive little bottles of water that the plastic has leached into the water, and the water itself is so acidic because it comes right from a tap. So please don't assume because it's in a case and it's in a bottle that it's healthy. So there are so many studies about staying away from those type of water. So do your homework on the water as well. I personally am a huge advocate of alkaline water, preferably in glass bottles if possible. Or I'm going to mention one brand name. It's Mountain Valley Water. They are spring water. They do not promote enhanced alkalinity because they just believe in the natural alkalinity of a healthy spring.
Okay.
But they have always bottled in glass until recently. I think Publix or maybe it's not them, but some big chain kind of said, hey, we need a plastic option. So they do make a plastic option now. But I always buy their glass bottles, and it's just really yummy tasting water. So Mountain Valley Water is definitely awesome water. So so you want to breathe, you want to get movement in your life, you want to appreciate being outside with nature, and you want to do some water. So that's just some to get your plan going that do not take too much money other than rebudgeting maybe some water money, but 10 ounces of water every waking hour. That way you're not overwhelming your body with too much water. If you drink too much water at one time, it will go straight through you. Or if you drink, acidic water that's not healthy, it's going to go straight through you instead of doing all the billions of functions that water is needed to do. Every cell needs it, all your tissues, your intestinal tract, it needs, water. So let's stress that. We are going to take a break now, but when we come back, we're going to learn about some basic nutrition. And so I hope everyone stays tuned. And please, if you have any questions, call us at 340-1590. I would love to hear from everybody.
You're listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in Fort Pierce, across from City Hall in the Arcade Building, the historic Arcade Building, 340-1590. Joanne will be taking your questions. Give us a call. Welcome back to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World and hosted by Joanne Augusto.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening today. I know how busy we all are, so I really appreciate you listening to me this morning. And we are just kind of talking about basics for the next couple shows. And that's why I encourage any callers, because there's definitely a lot of confusion. I kind of wonder sometimes. Here I've been doing this pretty much my whole life, and I research every day.
It's
And
commonplace to you.
yes, but it's still something that I have to study and learn and really seek out the correct knowledge. And I wonder, these people must feel so overwhelmed with all this stuff. And I go into stores, especially the larger stores, where there is books and books about all these different diet plans, and oh my gosh, and there's a new one every month that's this is the one. This is the one where you get your body back and your health back, and the new fad of the week. And there is one thing that I know is that when you label yourself with any distinct way, you have to appreciate that this is that moment that you will go for this diet, which I already stressed is not the way to go. So you just, again, you don't need to label yourself. You don't need to say, I'm keto, I'm paleo, I'm vegan, I'm this. Just do what's right for your body and make the healthiest choice for that day. And then the following year, you might decide, well, I don't really think that this is giving me optimal health. I need to go another way. I mean, I was basically advocating paleo big time for a while, but now I'm a vegan. And, well, actually, I'm a vegetarian, not a vegan. So I still eat some wild fish. But that's the whole thing. I just tell people all the time. Right now, that's working for me. I feel amazing. I have great energy. And it was my boyfriend that showed me a video of this, this Australian girl that was just amazing. And her video, she put a lot of science behind why to be vegan. And something inside me said, you know what, Joanne, you need to try this because it made sense to me. And I looked at it like as an opportunity to not be rigid with my thinking, because some of us get so defensive in our lifestyle habits that we're not willing to try something else. And if you're not willing to try something else, how do you know if your body won't do better? Because we're so worried, oh, we're going to miss this. Now, if anyone knows me, I loved steak.
Oh.
My Sunday at Outback was basically what I looked forward to all week long. I knew everyone at Outback because that was my big treat. Their dad would have them for the weekend, and I'd be at that Outback bar getting the biggest steak I could. And so it's been almost 3.5 months, maybe 4, and I haven't missed it at all, and I feel amazing. But again, I don't like putting a label on what I'm doing. I'm making a choice that seems logical for me because I watch the evidence about the science behind it. I listen to my body. I feel better. So to just do that, it's just think of it like no one's punishing you, no one's forcing you to, but if you want to feel your best, try to look at making changes and going at least for 3 months. Don't judge until at least 3 months, because the beginning of any healthier choices could have detox reactions in the beginning. There could be digestive changes that occur as you are consuming different foods. So, but again, please try not to get so defensive about, and when people come up to you and make suggestions like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this and I feel incredible, people get defensive that might not be at the weight they like, or they might not have the energy they like. They think you're trying to pick on them, but it's not. They're just so excited that they found something that works for them.
And some people get offensive and trying to impose what they're doing on others.
Yes, but again, I think, Cliff, it's a very hard distinction to know when someone's imposing or just excited.
Right.
I have so many people that come in the store, and they'll share with me. Like, I have people that come in. So here now I changed to a vegan, and so I'm not eating any animal foods other than some wild fish here and there.
You don't have vegans coming in and raising their eyebrows. Are you doing this right?
Right. Or I have, the keto people that are coming in that are just doing animal foods and fat. And they're like, oh my God, I feel amazing. This is great. I don't talk down to them. I listen and I'm like, I'm so glad you found something that works for you, and
That's the key.
yes, that's the whole idea. This is their part of their journey, just like I had my part of that journey. So, but all I stress to them is, always research, always listen to your body, make sure your bowels are still working, make sure your energy levels are high, make sure your skin's looking good, make sure you're sleeping well, because it's not just about weight. And that's where I want to stress that, the nutrition system that Jennifer and I use at the store is called isogenics. And a lot of people think of that as a diet plan, and it is not. It is a lifestyle superfood nutrition system that anyone can use. Children, people that need to lose weight, people that need to put on muscle, elderly, people that are ill. Anyone can use the system. It is not a diet. And it basically, the premise is you put so much nutrition in, you take the toxins out, you alleviate the stress, and you get a better quality sleep, and your body becomes the best version of yourself. So I want to stress that that's what your nutrition plan should be doing for you. You should not feel tired, you should not feel cranky, and you should be sleeping well. So give yourself a little checklist and really analyze how your nutrition is working out for you. And right now at the store, if you go into Nutrition World, we have 1,000 copies, so there's plenty of the new book that Terry from Terry Naturally, I call him Dr. Terry, has just written, and it's called Diabetes is Optional. I just so love that title because, as I always stress,
I like that title
right?
too. Yeah.
It is optional. It's something that we give ourselves if we want it. Obviously, I'm referring to type 2. So the book is free, and there's a lot of very interesting details. And he gives a couple website addresses for free health quizzes and lots of information about how to achieve good health. So you definitely want to pick up that book. And I also stress to you that you take a look at the isogenic system, because this week we are offering, if you do sign up for the nutrition system, you get a free sauna and a free sauna session. I'm not giving anyone my beautiful infrared sauna.
Oh.
So you get a session inside the sauna and a free ion foot detox. So you can experience both things we have going at the store that are amazing and make you feel better within the first few minutes, and as well as getting more information about the isogenics. So next we're going to talk about the idea of fat versus muscle. Now, one of the reasons that I was convinced into the isogenics is because 10 years ago there was a study, the Isogenics Nutrition Plan against the Heart Healthy Diet. And the participants in the isogenics group lost 47% more visceral fat than the Heart Healthy Diet group. Now, visceral fat is that disgusting, rubbery, gross stuff that becomes an organ in itself that surrounds your organs, especially your heart. It gives you that disgusting look around your belly that is so protruding. And no matter, you can be so skinny everywhere else, and you just have that huge, basketball hanging off you. That becomes this own hormonal organ system that really, it does kill you. I mean, the facts are out. The research is out. It does kill you.
It's actually an inflamed liver by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, it's an inflamed body. The body basically has shut down its ability to process sugars, no matter where they're coming from. It is just stagnant, because even if someone is attempting to exercise, if they're not putting the good nutrition in and they're not taking the toxins out, they don't have the whole equation met. It's 80% nutrition and 20% activity, okay? And if you keep bringing in toxins and don't give them a chance to come out, the body protects itself by taking any poisons, whether you're intentionally putting poison in your body or not. Most of us, it's never intentional, But unfortunately, there's poisons in our environment, in our food supply chain, in our water, and like I mentioned, indoor air pollution. So all those toxins have to be stored somewhere in the human body, and the way the body is set up is it's inside a fat cell. So you need to get the toxins out and get active so that way you get rid of that visceral fat and you have a healthier, stronger body that looks younger, feels better, and just lives so much more amazingly without a dependency on drugs or any other junk. So I just want to stress one thing. I put people on nutrition plans, and they say to me, well, I don't want to start exercising yet because I don't want all my fat to turn into muscle. Or they'll say, well, I know that muscle weighs more than fat, so I'm not really sure what my scale means. So I want everyone to understand that a pound of fat is the same exact thing as a pound of muscle. A pound is a pound is a pound. Okay? But what's different is that a pound, say a pound of muscle, it's very small and dense and it's sleek. And so say like it was like a child's tightly clenched fist is a pound of muscle. Well, a pound of fat is like holding like a handful of slime or sludge or like some jiggly, disgustingly gross
Jell-O.
thing. Like, yeah, I was trying to think, well, Jello some people like and is think of, but
Ew.
just something gross and disgusting.
Oh.
So it is the same weight, but one looks completely different. And if you were to put all that sleek, tight, firm stuff in your body of muscle, that works for you. That will burn more fat even when you're not exercising all day long, all night long. That beautiful, tight, firm muscle is going to make your body stronger, healthier, make sure that the blood's going in the right ways, make sure the lymphatic system is getting clean, and it sure makes you look darn better, especially when you're wearing clothes. So if you want to look at the superficial reasons, there's nothing better than having more muscle. And internally, health reasons, muscle is always super important no matter what age you're at. And also for bones, your muscles help hold you up. So if you feel like you're not walking with the strength you should, or you're getting reports about osteoporosis, or you're having a hip fracture or a pelvic fracture, that is in relationship to how much muscle you have in your body and how you're treating your muscle and taking care of it. So do not think muscle is for people that go to the gym. That, oh, I don't want muscle. That's for those big guys that can't put their arms down to the side. Or Arnold Schwarzeneggers. That is so old school myth. It's not true. Muscle is
So
sleek.
steroid too.
Yeah, muscle is sleek and it's amazing and it cleans us out and it keeps us strong. So you really want to always feed muscle. Now, fat, on the other hand, becomes an organ within itself when it's visceral, and that means its goal, which originally the other type of fat is to protect us, okay, a little cushion, which we only need a very small percentage in our body. The visceral fat can kill us, and that stuff looks gross, okay. It's weight that we're putting pressure on our hearts and our lungs and our bones, and it's making us tired. And also, who wants to carry that around? It makes us feel less confident, and it makes us feel that we're not achieving what we should, or we have no willpower. But I always say our food industry has really polluted us and given us really bad options. So yeah, it does take a little more work to think outside the box, but we can do it. I make things available at the store, and I say I'm a foodaholic. I love food. I love chocolate. I love to have some wine or cocktails. I love living a pleasurable life. And so I found balance through having good nutrition, taking toxins out, spending enough time, whether it be in the gym or with activity. So it is achievable. So please come in and ask us for more details about that. And I definitely want to stress that never give up on yourself. Never, ever, ever. So we want to, I wanted to tell you, Yes, so my boyfriend just texted me a reminder. I learned a new water trick. Okay, we learned a new water trick. So we went to a seminar, Dr. Mercola's seminar, and the educator was awesome. And he was telling us what he does for a quick energy burst. And that is when I mentioned earlier about if you drink a small amount of water every hour, you give the body enough to absorb in, clean out, function. But if you intentionally want to release some like intestinal toxins or stagnation or get a nice energy burst, you purposely drink a liter or more of water, like you gulp it down, and that is the fastest way. Safer than a laxative, much safer. Safer than drinking stimulating drinks or, gosh forbid, just having like that candy bar rush, which these things are all unhealthy and has side effects. So if you just gulp a whole bunch of water, which isn't very easy. The first time I tried, I literally I couldn't do it. I was really had a hard time after the half. So, just so you know, if you do drink more water than the body needs at the time, it will just send it right to the intestinal tract and give you a nice energy lift and a nice bowel movement.
Water, just like air, highly recommended by health officials and professionals.
That's right. That's right. Um, so I want to mention that cleansing, fasting is really popular and always has been. But if anyone can take some time researching the term intermediate fasting, when I tell people that word right away, they think I mean abstaining from food for weeks or
Not
like,
necessarily.
not having anything. But intermediate fasting means that you're taking a period of time and you're giving your body a vacation from its digestive responsibilities.
Are there any supplements we should take when fasting? Because you've
Well,
got to keep moving everything along, including the
yes,
cleansing.
exactly.
Right?
Well, that's the trick, is that intermediate fasting can be done in so many different ways. Like a beginner might decide, if normally they're a late night supper person that also enjoys like a late carb or dessert, they might say, okay, for 1 week or hopefully maybe the rest of my life, I'm going to stop consuming food at 5 o'clock. And then I'll
Or
start
after
again.
5,
Yeah,
or-
so after 5, nothing but water or say some
Okay.
herbal tea.
Mhm.
And then I'll start eating again, say the next morning at 9. That's the amount of time. For men, it's to abstain for 14 hours from food. For females, it's 12 to 13 to be considered intermediate fasting. You wouldn't believe the studies that have proven that you can increase your lifespan and have so many health benefits to all the most common things: high cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, obesity, diabetes, by just giving your body a rest from food. Our energy that it takes to help our digestive function is almost 80% or more of the body's energy. Now, obviously, that percentage changes depending on what you're putting into your mouth. But for the most part, we are always consuming something, we are always eating. Most of us consume way too much of the wrong foods at a time. And a lot of us have this habit where we go all day long having coffee or coffee drinks or energy drinks or snacking or candy. And then they get home, and that's when they sit down, usually on a couch, and consume very large meals. So no wonder you're starving, because you haven't had anything nutritious all day. But the body will shut down. It will say, holy moly, this is way too much. And so instead of renewing cells or helping your DNA or all this amazing things that should be going on, it says, all right, everybody go to the belly. Go to the belly, help this person out because it's overwhelmed. So by intermediate fasting, you're not putting too much pressure on your dietary goals. It's still always good to get the best nutrition, but you're just saying, I'm going to give my body a little vacation each and every day. Now, on the isogenic system, we believe in doing 2 days at a time, because the best part of the research that said if you go 2 full days with 2 nights on the intermediate fasting, then you remove 80% more of your body's toxic material, 87% more. So if the fat cells is what holds the toxic material, what do you think that means? That means that you will release so much more body fat. So of course, your belly feels skinnier right away. And I'm telling you, after the intermediate fasting and the cleanse days, you just usually stare at the mirror and like, oh my God, I can't believe. Wow. And around your face, like especially your neck, you don't feel puffy or bloated, and your belly feels so healthy and strong and so much smaller. And it doesn't come back. It's not about the principle of, oh, you haven't eaten anything and that's why. No. When you release toxins, you feel better. When you fast and you do it improperly, then basically you feel worse. That's the difference.
You got to do it right.
Yeah, you have to do it right. So you have to give yourselves the right helpers, the right nutrition to detox properly so you don't get cranky, so you don't get tired, and you don't just throw those toxins back into your bloodstream where they're going to reabsorb. So that's just, intermediate fasting. There are amazing, amazing videos on YouTube about it. And I must say, if there is any interest in the isogenics, if you just go to ISA Body on YouTube, there's thousands of testimonials and stories that are extremely motivating. And actually, I have to admit, I cried through many of them, because when you watch someone regain their health and their life back, it's extremely motivating, and it was for me.
It'll get emotional because you helped.
Oh my gosh.
You can't help but feel the good vibes of somebody that's
when I get text messages that say, oh my gosh, Joanne, thank you, I feel so much better, and it's the person that didn't even want to start and was all discouraged, it's so motivating to keep going and just to make the right choices, because each and every day you know that you might touch someone's life and get them to feel better, especially if they're in pain or they're depressed or they're on medications. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a better choice out there to make. And the other thing I want to stress too is that at the store, we do still have those ketogenic books that I pushed on the first show, Dr. Mercola's Fat for Fuel. I can still offer half off for anyone that buys a Dr. Mercola product. So if you buy a Dr. Mercola product, you can get one of his books at half price. So if you are on the keto diet, which he's a very strong advocate of, he makes Ketozyme, which helps you break down all the protein and fat that's on the plan. And he makes the gallbladder zyme. So if you feel like your gallbladder is inflamed or painful, and every time you eat a fat that you shouldn't, again, not an excuse to eat unhealthy fats, but you should definitely give your body a break if you know that you're not ready to stop. So the gallbladder zyme will definitely help that gallbladder out.
There are a lot of books at Nutrition World.
Oh, yes. Well, we also have a lending library, a huge lending library. So come in. We have 2 comfy chairs. You can read there, take it home. It's a lending library based on the trust system. So check that out. And again, we have the infrared sauna and the Ion Foot Detox promotion with an isogenic sign-up. So I really look forward to having everyone come into the store and checking everything out. As always, I appreciate your time and listening, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the week. And next week, it will be more about supplementation and when to take your supplements and how much.
And the good news is by this weekend, of course, this program will be in the video archives on YouTube. Just go to WPSLTV.com. Be sure not to miss last week's episode featuring more information about CBD oils. Joanne's World of Nutrition is heard every Thursday morning in the 10 o'clock hour after SwapShop, and followed by Dr. Stuart Scheib's Holistic Health Hour, which includes some ancient Chinese medicine. I got to have him check my chi. A little overactive. I'm afraid to shake anybody's hand. But Dr. Scheib is coming up. Stay tuned. Keep it right here on WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.